Welcome in. It is Wednesday morning. Thanks for being up with us here on 13 Sunrise.
Yeah, we are glad you're with us. We've got a lot to talk about as far as events happening all around the city, crime fighting in Indianapolis, and your summer, very summer-like forecast. Matt's been keeping an eye on that. Heat, humidity, and rain.
Yeah, on repeat.
Pretty typical for us.
It is. It is very July-like. I would rather have the downpours than go into a drought, though.
Yes.
But some of us are thinking, I'm in a drought. I haven't got any rain.
My mom, Roseanne, she would very much like you. She has new trees in her backyard.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So she's been watering them by hand. So
it'd be nice to get some free water
in
the sky, right? Some of us will, and some of us
need to use your sprinkle system.
Sprinkle system, that's right. You got to turn that sucker on. All right, this morning, some of us are getting a really good sip of water, especially farther south along 65, just south of, Edinburgh and just south of Columbus. We've got some heavier downpours over parts of Jackson County and then right into North Vernon. We've got some of that heavier rain. Seymour, we've got a downpour here in just a moment. We have a little bit of rain farther south of the town and there towards Brownstown, but this is really going to come through and dump some good water, maybe another quarter to half inch of rain for you. Then we take a look at Morgan County. Good morning. We've got a cell that's just passing the east side of Martinsville, kind of scooting right along the edge of 69 and headed to the north and east. This thing is headed towards Bargersville, Center Grove area. Watch out for a downpour within the next 30 to 45 minutes. And then also some scattered showers that are weakening right now. Eastern Clay County coming into Putnam County. So watch out from Greencastle to Bainbridge. We'll get a couple light showers over the next few minutes. Rain chances are kind of all over the place today. It's going to be unsettled. Now, we do think later this morning we'll have a little bit of a break, 9, 10, 11 o'clock before rain chances go up a little bit this afternoon. Maybe another small break in the evening. We're talking 6, 7, 8 o'clock before a couple scattered storms could arrive later into the late evening and overnight hours. In fact, those could potentially turn severe. There's a level 1 severe risk across the state, so we'll give you the timeline for that. But we're watching a little bit of rain this morning. We're also watching traffic. Lindsay, how are things moving this morning?
Yeah, we'll take it back up to the north side. New project started yesterday. And if you remember, we had some pretty significant delays along 465 in the westbound direction because they had several lanes restricted right here. This is a ditch road, and you're looking off to the west. They're redoing this bridge over Township Line Road just west of here. So because of that, at times, not every overnight, but there will be some lane restrictions as they work to tear down that old bridge and reconstruct a new one. And obviously, that bridge is going to be closed for quite some time. In fact, through next spring until they build a new one and then get that back open. So I want you to be prepared for this, especially if you travel along this stretch of 465 or perhaps use this bridge. You'll want to utilize an alternate route between now and next spring until the new bridge reopens there over 465 Township Line Road. I would utilize 96 or 86 streets. You could take that over to Michigan Road or perhaps, again, Ditch Road as your alternate routes, as that bridge is set to remain closed for several months as they construct a new one. Guys.
Thank you, Lindsay. Tonight, city leaders plan to take a look at a proposed ordinance. This is surrounding a curfew for Indy's youth.
And this is a story we, of course, have been talking about for a couple weeks now, following that mass shooting in downtown Indianapolis on July 4th. Matthew Foltz joins us with more on tonight's meeting and really what the community will have a chance to do at that meeting and the impact as well. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you both. So tonight we know the Public and Safety Committee for City County Council will now take a look at this proposed ordinance. You may remember last week, Councilor Leroy Robinson introduced it in hopes of maybe helping curb this violence. So under this new proposal, kids aged 15 to 17 will have to be home by 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. All other days they must be home by 9 p.m. Now those kids under the age of 15 must be home every night by 9 p.m. and this will only impact children and teens in Marion County. So this push for stricter laws come from that deadly mass shooting that we saw 2 weeks ago over the 4th of July weekend that left 2 teens killed and injured 5 other young people. Now since then, IMPD Chief Chris Bailey as well as Mayor Joe Hogsett have called for tighter curfews as well as parent accountability. Both of them believe that this proposed ordinance would help do that. Meanwhile, 13 News also spoke with Councilor Michael Paulhart earlier this week. He's one of the councilors on the Public Safety Committee. He says he's still hesitant on if this will really help anything, but he believes it really comes down to punishment for parents, punishment for parents and kids who are involved or staying out late after curfew. So we know tonight's proposal, if they do vote on this, it will then go back to the full council next month. And we do know, Julia and Jalea, that there are other local activists right now coming up with their own solutions ahead of this All-Star weekend. We'll break them down coming up at 6:30.
And that is probably so appreciated. We probably can't have too much brainstorming on this idea here. So thank you.
Well, it's 6:05, and this morning police are investigating after finding a man shot and killed inside of a car on the east side.
This all unfolded just before 4 o'clock last night near 34th and Franklin. When police got to the scene, they found a man shot inside of the vehicle. Medics pronounced him dead there at the scene. Investigators say this is typically a very quiet area, but people arriving home from work into their neighborhood saw crime scene tape and police cars near Wellington Avenue.
Police say they are working to bring a solution not just to this case, but as you've heard, other instances of violent crime in the city.
We made a significant number of arrests, whether that be aggravated assault or our homicide investigators. Our numbers still continuously to trend down when we talk about violent crime and homicides and aggravated assaults. We'll continuously hope, and we're not saying that's a win for us, but we'll continuously do everything that we can as an agency to hopefully those numbers trend down. However, you heard us say this before, it's so important for folks to come forth with information. The police department can't do it alone.
So we are working now to learn if police have identified a possible suspect or a motive in that shooting.
So if you have any help and information that might help and make it arrest, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
A 50-year prison sentence was handed down for a 14-year-old charged with murder as an adult.
That crime happened when the boy was just 13, and he has been found guilty. Zayden Guy pleaded guilty last month to shooting and killing 24-year-old Byron Dennis Jr. at a gas station in Marion, Indiana in March of 2024.
Dennis's family had a chance to speak in court yesterday. His mother remembered her son as a good man, and she told the judge that she forgives Guy and hopes that he comes to ask forgiveness from God.
Guy also spoke during court, offering an apology.
I'm very sorry for what I've done and the damage I've caused to the Dennis family as a young man at the age of 13. I was young enough to make better decisions and think about doing things before I didn't.
Guy will now spend time in the juvenile detention system until he turns 18. Then he has 30 days to file an appeal on this sentencing decision.
IPS now has $5.5 million to help boost STEM readiness among students. We talked about this yesterday, but this money is coming from Eli Lilly and Company Foundation.
District leaders say this money will increase opportunities for middle school and high school students. The grant will help pay for 3 programs over the next 5 years. The first is expected to launch at William Penn Middle School next year.
Happening today, plans to rezone nearly 470 acres in Franklin Township for a $1 billion data center are making progress.
13 News has discovered that company behind the project is none other than Google, but it's getting a lot of pushback from neighbors. We talked with some of them who say they plan to be at that meeting today to debate the move. Councilor Michael Paul Hart, who represents this district, tells us he had concerns over long-term tax value and how much energy this center would use.
The Metropolitan Development Commission is set to hold a public hearing on a petition for this rezoning effort. That's happening this afternoon at 1.